and welcome back to the shop where we are right in the midst of our undercoating project for the 1978 Datsun 280Z we've been working on. In the previous episode right here, I showed you every which way that I knew how to remove or not remove undercoating. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and give that one a click. Lots of good information in there, and then come back and watch this one. What we did in that episode was we used a combination of tools to remove the majority of the undercoating. We used the Norton Rapid Strip disc on an angle grinder. That was probably my favorite method. It removed the undercoating the best and the cleanest and got down to fresh, clean, bare metal. My next favorite method was the angle grinder with the wire wheels, cut brushes, knotted, crimped. It didn't matter. Angle grinder with a wire wheel did a great job of getting into the hard to reach areas that the flat Norton Rapid Strip disc couldn't get to. Once all that was done, we went back and cleaned all the areas that neither one of those tools could get to up with a needle scaler. That allowed us to get into every little small nook and cranny that we couldn't access otherwise and get the remaining little bitty solid areas of the undercoating off. Now, if you think after removing the undercoating that you are ready to wax and grease remove and start spraying paint, oh, you'd be so wrong, so very wrong. Now that we have all that out of the way, the real work can begin. And on this one, we have a few small damaged areas in the metal that need to be manipulated back into their original shape and location. We have a driver's side floor pan that needs to be reworked, and then we have a driver's side rocker panel seal that needs to be beat back into submission. So we're going to go ahead and fix all the metal now while it's in its bare metal state, and then we're going to start the process, another multi-step process, to get it ready for epoxy primer, which is what you all came here to see. That's the pretty stuff, and that's what we want to get to as quick as possible. So we're going to go ahead and get busy. we could probably go ahead and wipe this thing down with a little bit of acetone and use a scour hand pad, a 3M red scuff pad, or some double aught steel wool, and get everything scuffed up and cleaned and ready for the epoxy primer. But since we've gone this far, we might as well go ahead and do the extra step. For those of you wondering what these are 3M Bristle pads, Bristle disc pads. We got a couple different grades. We got some, this white, this 120 grade, closely associated to 120 grits. These are 80 grade, closely associated to 80 grit. We have some that go on the back of some Roloc discs. And then we have the ones that go on the angle grinder. We're gonna use a combination of those. We're gonna go ahead and get all this metal prepped and cleaned, get the remaining bits of paint off, and try to get it down to as much bare metal as possible. And if you're wondering, no, I didn't plan to take it down this far, but here we are. Alright, so yesterday we removed all of the remnants of the undercoating, the gray little specks that you saw everywhere. And to do that, all we needed was a little bit of acetone and a red hand pad or 3M Scotch-Brite scuff pad. So we just took that, wet it down a little bit, and scuffed everything up, and that pretty much dissolves the remaining remnants of the undercoating. So now all we have to do is go ahead and clean the metal, and we're just going to use some wax and grease remover and get busy on that. that's going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed this content, please click that like button. If you want to find out what we're doing next on this thing, you're going to have to hit that subscribe button, along with the bell notification right next to it. That way you get notified just as soon as we post another video. And as always, thank you so very much for watching this video.